Southwest Florida is growing at an exponential rate, and it's there. It's just a matter of minding down and get it. And I would say this, leagues and groups during this bad weather, they play no matter what, and that's good to know. That lets us know where we stand, and they are the backbone of the club. I mean, there's no doubt about it. There might be some back and forth about where the rate should be and blah blah blah, but they are the backbone of the club, and we are achieving one thing that I think we wanted to do was for the leagues to be more and more heavily engrossed with our residents. We want to make sure our residents are playing in our Saturday league, and I'm seeing younger, and that's always a good thing, but I'm seeing younger people playing on Saturday, and they're being Stony Brook residents, and I think that's what we've always really wanted. So I'm really excited about that. We went to a little bit different scale on how you get a tee time. We were seeing throughout the business that more and more advanced with tee times. I was getting inundated with emails about, can I get this, can I get that, out in advance, with people becoming more amped to like the hotel and the airport, and let's get the golf, and more of the other courses opening up to further in advance tee times. So we went to this scale of 30-day in advance for the general public, 45-day in advance for our 20 or so annual pass holders, and then 60 days for our residents. I've had some questions from residents about that. Are we going to get squeezed out by 30 days? My thing would be to say, go ahead if you know you want to play, you come in, you're here for the season, book your times. And then if something comes up and you can't make it, cancel them. Because on the flip side of that, there's always the last minute golfer. And we capitalize on that. And I want to give you guys the first and always opportunity to get tee times. But it's okay if you book them, and then please cancel, and then we'll be able to sell it.
Jeff, there's one thing with that. I mean, we're booking that far out. Is there a way to track that John Smith booked 2 tee times 25 days in advance and never showed up? Is there a way that we're going to track that?
Yes.
Okay, because with that...
We have credit cards on file, part of the new...
Oh, okay. That was my next question.
Part of the new system with golf now, one of the upsides, there have been downsides to it, but one of the upsides of it is a lot of our regular play is credit card on file. We could possibly charge, and any group over, like 2, 3, 4 groups, we're taking a credit card.
Okay. That was my concern, because I don't want somebody booking 25 days in advance and then just not showing up when we've got 3 tee times open. Okay.
Well, but as a resident, you could still book 60 days in advance, and you do not have to have a credit card on file.
Right. But, I just, let's track it and see where we go. If we find if we find that we're losing a lot because of that, or people are just booking and not showing up, then we'll have to adjust it. But as long as you guys can track it, so we know where we are with that.
Yes.
I was curious where you came up with the numbers. I mean, is this kind of industry?
Yes.
They just seemed a little
Far out
for me.
Yes.
I was a little surprised. Not
Well,
like far out like pool, far out.
But far out like...
Just like, wow, I can make a
Honestly,
tee time 60 days in advance. Wow.
Honestly, Chris, it came from an industry, and,
Okay.
and I went a little kicking and screaming to the idea myself. I was like, I don't know, and then once the entire industry moves in that, we have to stay competitive to it.
Right.
Granted, I mean, we can tweak it as we go, but
Right.
Jeff and I met with Sean from Golf Now, and it was a question that I raised because we look at the prices that we're charging, and we compare them with local golf courses.
Right.
And what we found was, we were able to get the prices for other local golf courses further out than we were here, so that's
I
kind
see
of,
what you're
that was
saying.
the talking.
So anybody potentially booking a
Yeah,
trip.
we could potentially be losing
Right.
revenue by people
see
being
that.
able to book, 45 days out with another course and not us. So now Jeff has remedied that, just so that you guys know, I mean, allowing the online to overwhelm our golf course, it makes up 12% of our tee times.
Yeah.
Last year, it was 16%, so like, even though he's implemented this, we've actually gone down in terms of percentage of online booking, so I don't think it's going to overwhelm us.
Okay.
Sort of side note, something to look at. Have you guys seen the PGA card for this year?
No, I haven't.
Man, some of the prices in there. We might want to look at what we're charging.
And up it?
Well, we went to
At
55.
the 55, I mean, go look at the pricing.
Okay.
I was a little shocked at what some of the courses are asking for the summertime. Now, they're private courses. 70, 75, 80, some of them are pushing $100 in the summer.
Really?
On the card. Enough to where I'm like, I'm not sure I'm going to buy it.
Woof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Just
all.
look at it. Now, I mean, these are private courses that go public in the summer, and
But still.
not that we don't, we put a good product out there, but we just can't compete. These courses are beautiful courses, but these courses historically in the summer were charging 55, 60, 65.
I remember
Go look at the
35,
pricing,
40
Jeff.
We always figured it was what they went to, we were 70, 80% of that.
Yeah, just look at it, because I was looking to buy it this year, and I was like, wow.
I
Some
thought
of these
twice about
courses
it, too.
are
I have
really, they've really ramped up what they're charging.
And it's almost as though they're doing it, but they don't really want the outside.
The only flip side, Spring Run's staying at like 60. So that's kind of comparable, I mean.
Yeah.
So that,
Apples to apples.
apples to apples, but Pelican Sound, 75, 80, something like that.
Arrowhead?
Yeah, even Arrowhead's real expensive.
Yeah, high.
So, anyway, just something to look at.
And one last thing, February 9th is the Friday before the Super Bowl, and we're having a little bit of a celebration to make sure everybody, we're very proud of the back area of the clubhouse with the patio and the driving range and the lights and everything that's there. So we're going to do a live remote 2 to 6 from ESPN Radio for Super Bowl kickoff, and then we're going to do 6 to 8 a group called Chasing Denver, which is a country folk / group, mainly country. They'll do just about anything, and they're going to be on the patio playing music that night. I'd like everybody to come. It's going to be a good time. And we're really promoting, the fact that how beautiful the range is, how beautiful the spot it is, and we really want to promote the back patio that we orchestrated getting built for Duffy's and promote their business on it. So we will be doing that on February 9th. So everybody come out and enjoy. I've seen them several times. They're really, really good. Especially if you like Johnny Cash and Ruth Carter Cash. They do Jackson better than any group I've ever heard, so anyway.
And the more money that Duffy makes, the more we get at the end of the year, so continue to support them.
And that's all I have.
Okay.
Speaking of the patio, what's going on with the fencing?
That's in, what's her name?
Lisa's here.
Lisa's here. Lisa's taking, she's
Lisa.
on, Lisa.
Stop looking around.
That's what's her name?
You're usually sitting over there.
Oh, the rail?
The rail, you're talking about the handrail, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I did get a few people out there, so we're looking at the lowest right now for 2 handrails and the fence on both sides of the patio, about 13 grand.
What about just the 2 railings?
Pardon me? For
Just-
just 2 rails? About 3,000.
There's a falling hazard On the sides.
We need.
Yeah, you'd have to, I mean, I couldn't
We
recommend,
need the rails.
We need-
As a handicapped person.
ADA compliant, you
that-
gotta
that
have.
Those steps are, they're not bad, but
At night,
Yeah.
shadows casting, yeah.
All right, I would. Drinking. I would say we've got to go ahead with, at
Small
minimum,
price-
the rails.
Small price to pay for.
The handrails.
The handrails.
The handrails.
What about 3? I mean, 2 seems kind of,
2 and one in the
one in
middle.
the middle.
Okay, go
No,
with
she's saying more than that. So are you
That
saying,
was 32 months,
Lisa, you-
3250.
$32.50 for 3 handrails. Okay.
so you're not gonna put anything on the sides?
No, sides and middle.
Not the fence, they didn't say, yes.
So
No,
you're just gonna have them up the fence line, stop at the top, on the edges, on each side, and then one in the middle?
Yes.
Gotcha.
But
Fair
yes.
enough.
Do we
Nothing
have-
on the fence yet.
That's mainly where the falling hazard is anyways, up, coming up, right? We got the hedges
Hard to
there.
see, yeah.
Right, so that's, yeah, I would,
I say we need to go ahead and
Get
get
it
the
done.
railings.
All right.
it's been long enough.
Yeah.
Do we have the money for the fencing?
Yeah.
Sure. In Chuck's budget,
Budget?
Okay, hold on one
Fencing
second,
around the
Tony.
community, or what?
I think I just heard a comment about it's hard to see. Is there a lighting issue also?
no, I think the lights are better now. We added a fixture on, 2 fixtures on the poles
Yes.
that face right to the patio.
Okay.
I mean, we could still, I'm still gonna do like solar decorative lighting, but I don't know now if solar would work.
Now, Chuck,
Hasn't been very sunny.
do we have the money in, to do that, or should we just go with the railings right now?
So let's see this.
You have the
So
money.
it's stairs are right here. One,
Okay.
One,
Go ahead and,
one, I'll stop right here instead of running these two up. Make a motion. So you can't fall off on. I'll make a
It's only gonna be like a short,
I see.
you know, like,
We got heads.
similar to what you have around here.
Gas lit.
Okay.
Just a wrinkle.
Go ahead, Chris.
I'll make the motion, Lost to move forward.
Second.
All those in favor of the fence and the railings?
Aye.
Opposed?
Lowest bid,
Yes. And as quickly as possible.
3 rails.
that's gonna be tough.
3 rails and the fence.
Really bad for the
Okay, thank you. Yes?
Speaking of the lights that you put out in the back of the building,
Yeah,
and the lights that are in the parking lot for Duffy's,
yeah.
I happen to be the last condo in Lancaster Run, and every night when that light goes on, I wake up because it comes right through my window. Is there a possibility to turn that light?
Which, the light on the golf?
Shade on it, like on one side.
I mean, it's kind of shaky in the middle of the night, that light goes on and it wakes you up.
That's probably gonna have to, I mean, it's over there towards like the, back behind the chipping green somewhere. Maybe we can put a shade on it and cast it downward instead of
Okay.
outward, you know?
Okay, we'll look into that.
Is it like the cart barn way?
Yeah, it's gonna be behind the chipping green where the handicap parking is behind the car barn. It's gonna be one of those two directly behind that.
Yeah, before we spend any money on that, I think go out there and make
Take a
sure
look,
we
yeah.
do the right light, you
I
know.
was
Yeah.
out there first thing in the morning and make it.
Okay.
On the patio, I mean, Duffy's was supposed to put lighting out there. They haven't done anything. I think that's possibly a safety concern. I know we've done stuff with the driving range, but part of me thinks maybe we just take control of our own destiny and put our own string lighting up and make it look nice. They've gone cheap on the furniture. I suspect they'll probably do the same for the lighting.
Lisa, can you check on the price of lighting and how we could do that without compromising the patio or the roof? I don't want any holes in the roof.
Yeah.
Or the least, we don't want to assume their obligation if they have that.
Right,
Well, I'll work with Lisa on that.
Okay, yeah.
yeah,
They should do that.
yes,
And maybe we'll do it, charge them. I'll get with Lisa.
okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Yes, Sharon?
Can I ask how come they didn't put a cover over the patio instead of having umbrellas?
At this point in time, that was what their plan was. I think ultimately they will be doing that, but,
Who's they?
Duffy's.
Oh.
okay? So,
Anything they would do, we'd have to prove we own it.
right,
What they had before, like 3 really big umbrellas or something like
No,
that?
they had those swales.
The swell shade, that's right.
Right. So, and I think, and I have to be honest with you, I think we got the patio done quicker than they were ready to budget for all that other stuff. So I think that's why the umbrellas now, and I know they're working towards other stuff, so that's where we're going with that. Okay. All righty. The landscape contracts, we only received the one, Chuck, right?
That's correct.
From estate management?
We had sent invitations out to 6 or 8. We had 2 show up at the mandatory pre-bid with a bid submitted by 1.
Okay. At this point, I say maybe we try it again in the future, but I'm comfortable with John and his group doing it, and Todd doing it at this point. I don't want to go with just one bid for this amount.
It's really tough right now in basically all industries.
Yeah.
Everybody is so covered up, so.
Right. So,
And the appropriate action then would be to reject the proposal, reject the bid,
okay,
and not re-advertise.
okay.
I mean, just to give, I guess, some bottom line, I mean, we're looking at probably, it would potentially save money.
It was a net about 50,000.
Yeah, it would save maybe $50,000 off what we currently budget. The flip side of that is, they would have 4 people in here 2 days a week.
Right.
We have people in here 5 to 6 days a week currently at $50,000 more. When you kind of divide that out by how many residents, I think it's well worth having a staff here every day.
They were required to have presence in here 5 days a week for garbage and debris pickup. But, on those off days, it's probably just one person making a quick drive-through.
Right. So I think at this point,
Yeah, I mean, we're assuming that John and his staff wouldn't get involved.
Irrigation only.
Yeah,
Irrigation, right.
and we're also assuming, right, when we look at the packages, the references that were in there were from some communities that I've driven through after the hurricane that were decimated and left decimated for weeks, where John and his crew had it cleaned up. I think for $50,000, we're far better served having someone on site control our destiny.
and the good thing with having the full staff is they can help each other out, which is a huge plus, especially with the hurricane, so.
That does help. We've been doing more and more of that lately, actually. We didn't really have to for the longest time, but lately we've been doing more and more.
Okay, can we just have one conversation, please? Sharon? Yes.
Am I allowed to speak on that? I'm Justin Lucas, I'm with Estate Landscaping, I'm the one who submitted it
Oh, okay.
for you. We do Miramar, which is down the street, we do Bellaterra, which is down the street. So we've been in business for 30 years, and we would have presence on site. We would be performing our tasks, but we would have a presence on site to make sure there's no garbage, debris around in the area. So we have a large presence in this area, and would love to help with your community. I have had a couple good conversations with John, and I would work hand in hand to make sure that it was smooth transition, and it would allow him to focus on the golf course and let us take over and improve your common areas, and so he could focus on the things that are more important to him, and I could focus on your common areas and really help you improve those areas. So we believe in partnerships, and we would be a good partner with your community.
Okay. Well, at this point, we just have the one bid, and we would have to have more than one in order to...
You're not required to have more than gone through the process.
I mean, I certainly see the value add. I thought your presentation was good, and I know the communities you're talking about, and they are in good shape. I just think personally, and especially right now, I mean, I don't know if we can kind of table this and then look at, we're almost halfway through our budget year.
Yeah,
Would be something to look at as far as moving forward, maybe in the 24-25 season. I would still be open to those discussions.
Right.
But as far as what I've read and just my personal feelings as of today, I just don't see the value add at this time.
Touching base on hurricane cleanup real quick, we also have a sister company, which is Triple J Sod. So we work out of the same owner. So we were actually one of the first to have hurricane cleanup performed because they're not laying sod after the storms. We have all of their labor, all of their equipment. We actually helped, we were able to get all of our associations cleaned up and help others that weren't even customers because we were able to get ours cleaned up quickly.
And that would be at an additional expense?
The hurricane cleanup, yes, we have a pre-authorization sheet, set pricing for hurricane.
Whatever my salary was.
Okay, well, I think we should, the time
It
being...
says a lot that you showed up, man, so.
Yeah, thank
I
you.
appreciate it. I appreciate your presentation. I thought it was nice.
Thank you.
So, but I think at this point, we should just put it on hold until we start thinking about the budgets for next year.
Is that a motion to reject?
Motion to reject.
Reject.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. So it's 3-1?
Yep, 3-1, good.
Okay. John, landscaping for along Corkscrew Road.
Yeah, do we have any, Wyndham residents in here?
Weymouth.
Weymouth.
Weymouth, I'm sorry. Any more Weymouth residents? Sure, this is, I'm just gonna give, this is in the finals. So this is one from Juniper.
Okay.
Okay, and this is one from Dorman and Moore. That's a 2-page. Okay. And this is the bid from Dorman and Moore for that one. Let's say they didn't give us one. They didn't come.
It's under section
I don't know.
Oh, section
unless
5.
Eileen Jolly, she kind of thought that was Juniper,
Okay.
but it is their thing.
Okay.
I think it's also here.
It is their quote, their bid.
This is different, or?
The plan.
There was a financial...
So is there any other way?
Thank you.
Well, here you go.
Oh, I have that.
Do you have pricing for this?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I don't have that.
What don't you have?
The pricing?
I don't have pricing. Do you guys?
Yes. Oh, no, yes.
All right, here, we can share.
Yeah, that's fine.
got you.
I can see it. Here, we'll share and John, you guys can get it.
Chuck, do you need one? Do you want one? Sorry, I don't know if I gave you one or not.
I'll take this one when we're done.
Okay. So, in front of you, what we're looking at is two different designs, landscape designs. One from Landscape Architects and Planners, DMMJ. That's who Dorman and Moore's hired for that, to design that for them. And then we have one from Juniper. Like I was saying, Juniper and Eileen, I don't know, because you've been in contact with them, did they submit a?
They didn't submit the
Money proposal?
financials yet,
A quote?
and I left them a message yesterday, so I'll try again today.
So looking at the, comparing them apples to apples and looking at them side by side, the difference in plantings would be, so if you could imagine, what Juniper has is basically groups of cabbage palms, then slash pines, and kind of repeat that process. Within between of that, having some cocoa plum and some small leaf collusia also weaved in between.
Now, can I just interject something?
Sure.
And so everybody knows that these plantings will not be a straight line. They will be staggered, they will be leveled, so that things will grow at different heights. If you drive along Estero Parkway, the way they have the smaller plants, a larger, and then a group of trees here and a group of trees there, that's what the village is asking us to do, and that's how it will look. It won't be a straight line of plants. It'll be staggered with height and in depth, so, okay.
And to your point, more from the front side. The back side is going to be fairly straight.
Right.
But in the front, it's going to,
Define front and back.
front being corkscrew.
Okay.
Side, and then the back being the lake side.
Right.
So, if you look here, and I guess in Junipers, they don't have the existing trees there. There's two big oak trees that are there currently.
And we're keeping them.
So I'll get to that in a second.
Oh, okay.
And then one cabbage palm. Cabbage palm has to go. It doesn't really match, unless it's somehow going to fall in line, but it's not going to match. So it's a simple, it's not that big. so the two oaks. So I went out there the other day with both these plans, and I'm sitting in the median, went into the median, the center median across the street, and looked at it. Those oaks are nice, they're in size, but they've been hurt pretty bad by the storm. And in the front of them, they're very thin, and I'm looking at it like, we cleaned this up and shaped it. I don't think they're gonna have a good shape to them.
Okay,
They're not gonna look right. That's my personal opinion.
okay.
I would love to leave them because they're big, they're nice. There's one kind of in the middle and then one towards the end.
Okay.
So even, let's say we left them, let's say according to this plan, the one thing I would add on this plan that
This is
would be more,
dormant?
on dormants, would be a Hong Kong orchid down at the end. And when I say the end, I mean towards the preserve side.
The far side, the end.
The far side, that's the only change I would make in that.
That's an what is it?
Hong Kong orchid, that's what we planted out back here that's blooming with the pink leaves.
Yes.
To keep that going, to keep that, that's why I said that. But then other than that, you just got to be creative. You got to have the amount, be able to look at these plans and say, what does that tree look like? And and remember too, the dormant has a 3-foot berm.
I like those.
Yeah.
The berm to be elevated. That's all in this quote as well.
Okay.
So I wish I could give you more on the juniper on the cost of it. Maybe we could call them.
And juniper includes the berms too?
No.
It's just flat.
That's just flat.
Just flat.
And now, I will say this, Cougar's been out there here recently, I don't know if you've seen them, they've kind of went out there, regraded that. The gentleman that was here last month, we can go ahead and now plant that tree in that corner that he was asking about for his house.
Yep.
They've really regraded all that out right there, and it looks nice, so we're gonna get that moving pretty soon, too. They've done a pretty good job.
John, these plans that we've got, I know the residents were talking about wanting to increase the height.
Right.
So Dorman Morris, as I understand it, includes that?
That's in this, yes, that's
Juniper
in.
does not include that, right?
It's not on the plan.
It's not on the plan at this point in time.
All right.
And how high are they?
3 feet, the berm is 3 feet.
Okay.
And then the second question is, this is kind of like our proposal. Does this incorporate everything that the village is,
Needing or requiring?
no, like, are they adding plants to it? Or this is what it's gonna be and they're gonna help subsidize some of it, maybe?
Okay, right, we'll have to have that discussion with them, continue which we have been about, all right, so let's say we decide one of these, right? We say, hey, this is what we're going with, what are you gonna help us out with? We gotta figure that out down the
But
road.
my question is, can we
What are
give
they doing
this-
in front?
Can we give this to a resident at Weymouth, once we make a decision and say, this is what the plan is gonna be, this is what it's gonna look like, and it's gonna incorporate everything that we're planning to do, as well as everything that the village is.
Yeah, I think the village is just laying some sod up to that point. They don't have any
They
minimal
don't have
plan.
anything there, but what we have to do is once we approve a plan, we have to go to the village for them to approve the
Approve it,
plan. And at that point, I need to talk to the county and the village to see what percentage they're going to help us with that part of it. So even though we have the plans, and if we approved it today, it's still a process because it still has to go to the village. They have to approve what we're doing, even though we put in here the plants that they want us to use. And then we have to work with the county to see how they're going to help subsidize us, because Chuck and Tony and I spoke with them 2.5 years ago, so.
So basically today, we really can't do
I
anything.
can't do anything because I have to get the pricing from Juniper
Pricing from Juniper.
and see if adding a berm.
Yeah,
Do you have these electronic?
I do.
Can you send them to me? Send them to, not to me, send them to CDD email
Send a
box,
CDD email?
and I'll send you an electronic copy.
Okay.
So I'm assuming you can distribute out to somebody.
Right, I will.
Okay.
Are we also still waiting on Florida Power and Light before we do any of this work?
That's what I have to check with the village with, because I believe,
They will, I don't think they're gonna encroach on what we have to
you
do.
don't think so? Okay. And what
Well, we don't wanna be doing the work either, when then all of a sudden they come out.
Right.
That might be a problem.
So that's the other thing that I have to check
Right.
with the village is when is, sorry, when will Florida Power and Light eventually do something, Nisha?
I have a question, just for me to help to understand. The plants that you guys are talking about, you were talking about the plants that were alongside here that you said would grow fast. Is that what you're trying to put at the top?
Yeah.
Some, yes, it's a
Some.
mixture, but yes, some of those, tall, big like they were.
Yeah.
So, well, on this design, all right, not on the other, so on that design, 3-foot berm added, then those plantings,
Okay.
the big ones going up, and then it's a combination of those.
The trees.
Hey, John, those Calusia,
Yes,
25 gallon is what's on there. What was planted as you exit on the left-hand side?
25 gallon.
25 gallon. So like,
There's 15.
shock and
No.
awe is gonna happen when that fence comes down and John clears out all the foliage. I mean, Corkscrew Road is gonna be right there. So there's gonna be 158 of the Calusia,
Yeah.
which are those same bush-like things growing along the left side as you go out. That is going to be, I think, the main covering. John, am I right in thinking that?
yes,
At
yes.
the top?
But there's, if you look, there's 4 or 5 different sections of some live oaks,
Yeah.
cabbage palms staggered out
Right.
through it.
And then in addition to that, there's going to be 188 cocoa plum, which are native trees that the village is asking us to incorporate some native stuff. So
In front of.
there's going to be some density, you know,
Right.
not just the Calusia, there's going to be a couple things. So you're going to go up 3 feet, you're going to have the Calusia plus the cocoa palm, and then there's going to be 35 sable palms, you know, scattered around in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clusters. But again, I wouldn't look too much in it, because this is one of 2 quotes.
Right.
You know, and we're waiting to get the other one back. The big thing for me is, like, if I was a Weymouth resident, I just want to know what's coming. And it's going to be,
And price.
yeah, it's going to be cleared and it's going to be empty. And then those Calusia are going to be planted, and it's going to take a little bit of time for them to get going, just like the ones
How
that are.
long will it be when it's cleared and empty? How long is it going to be that?
I don't know. We would have to talk to once we determine which landscape we're going to use, we will determine how long. Once
Yeah.
they clear it, raise the berm, it's not going to be done in a day.
No.
I don't know how long, and again, weather, everything else, we will get a better time frame at that point in time.
And from my understanding, the county is planning on taking the fence down in February.
That's not what I've heard.
Or, yeah, I don't know. I didn't
No,
hear.
that's
Jen said.
not what I heard.
They just were out there last week putting more screen in,
Right.
putting that, like all
They
new.
were fixing it.
Yeah, so I don't know. But to your point on the timeline, I couldn't speak on Juniper, but just from conversations with Dorman, they would be ready whenever. So, but Juniper, I can't, I honestly can't speak with them, so. And then I think we should probably give Juniper the opportunity too to say, hey, 3-foot berm, because that, I mean, I
Yeah.
think that's kind of what we're.
That's what we want. Yeah.
Right, so hey, you know, if you want to keep the same print, but make a 3-foot berm, add that to the cost and
Right.
do apples to apples, you know?
Right, because I mean, I'm just looking at them today, of course, we don't have all the information. Dorman certainly appears to be the more attractive.
More comprehensive and
Yes.
track, right.
Proposal, but.
Well, I think
we
let
don't
Juniper get the opportunity to, you
Right.
know.
And I'll speak with Daryl again today.
have- On that, John, did they tell you, I mean, how long this quote's good for? Would you just say 30 days typically, or?
I mean,
didn't
I'm
see
sure,
any-
yeah.
I didn't see anything on here, so
I mean, he's been very good with working with us. so-
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's
not that it's a huge
60,
deal.
30, 60 days, yeah, I can
Yeah.
find out.
Okay.
I would recommend putting something else in besides firebush, because
Which one are we looking at? Dorman?
Dorman, yeah.
because every time you trim that firebush,
Gets woody.
it's gonna look, it's woody and it looks dead. And they're gonna be looking at that all the time.
I thought we replaced Firebush with the Calusia.
Yeah, we did, but they've got 96 firebush in here.
Oh, I see.
There's
Yeah.
both. There's both.
Yeah, it's in the clusters of, it's in the very front of the Clusie, in the clusters of the, like oak trees and Fakahatchee.
Can I ask you what size of those kind of plants that you're putting out? Are you putting the same size as
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
in here?
Yeah, the Calusia, 6
Yeah.
foot, six
Yeah.
foot high.
25 gallon, it's the same that we put on that side. So,
So
yeah.
that'd be 9 feet high then?
With
Yeah.
With the
the
berm.
berm.
Okay.
Phil brings up a good point.
I'd put viburnum instead of firebush.
Viburnum is the,
It's a bush.
yeah,
It makes a hedge.
What I'll do is I'll ask them to give me some options, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Get a few options other than.
Yeah.
But
I'm
again-
gonna ask, those might have been 15 gallons.
okay, but the viburnum, is that an approved bush that the village?
Yeah.
Can we just have one conversation, please?
Yes, that is an approved.
That is an approved bush?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I'll try to get
Then
it.
you'll send it to me.
Yeah, I'll get it from John and I'll
Okay,
forward
thank
the electronic copy. I mean, you're just gonna get this, but
Sure, that's okay.
at least it's something to look at.
Hey, John, thank you. I think, I don't know, just looking at this from the third party, I think the Weymouth residents raised a concern, and I don't know, I look at the solution that has come back, at least one of them seems to address
All their concerns.
all their concerns, and I look forward to seeing Juniper's
Yeah.
as well. So I think we have at least one good option, and hopefully a second one on the way. We'll make a decision based, once we see that.
Greatly appreciated.
Okay.
I'll totally get an answer. I think those are 15 gallons, and I think the 25s will be even bigger.
Okay.
I'll see if I can get an answer by the time the meeting's over.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Carter fence, is that the revision for the,
No, we kicked Carter fence to the curb, remember?
we did, okay. Have you,
As a matter of fact, I got a refund check I just sent to Lucy for the handrail
okay.
that we put a deposit down on. Yeah, we kicked them to the curb.
Now, did we speak to anybody else about the fencing around the community?
No, not yet. I haven't even
Okay,
crossed that. I think we decided to table that for a little while,
I believe we did.
we did,
2 meetings ago.
yeah,
Yep.
okay.
But if you want me to get somebody on the horn,
Nope, not at this point.
I haven't had very good luck with fence companies, I'm not gonna lie. It's like one type of, like industry I have not had good luck with at all. Getting people.
Nor you?
Who did you get to do the handrail?
I had Sunmaster, Superior.
But they don't do handrails, Superior told me.
Yeah, they do.
They said Superior hand and rail, right? It says hand and rail. They're like, we don't do rails. And I'm like,
And,
That's what they told me.
Fence.
It's how you ask, John.
Affordable.
It's how you ask.
Okay,
Yeah, they're all friends.
they must be slower now. Now they're doing back into the rails.
yeah,
They told me, they're like, yeah, we don't do handrails. I'm like, but it says Superior hand and rail.
okay. Alrighty, so
Good.
the bridges,
Oh, bridge quotes.
bridge quote.